One of the biggest regrets of any sporting establishment is losing its players to its rivals, and the case is not different for the PGA. Since its inception, LIV Golf has been a thorn in the flesh for the PGA, and losing one of its best players to LIV Golf is more devastating than initially thought. That is definitely the case with Cameron Smith. Join us in this video as we show you why Cameron Smith is hated by the PGA. The denial. On the PGA Tour, Cameron Smith has had an incredible year. He won a suspenseful contest in Maui back in January. With several courageous strokes in the last round of the Players' Championship in March, he prevailed. After that, he won the 150th Open Championship last month with one of the greatest final rounds in the annals of major competition. He had the chance to step up to the plate once more and become a significant player in golf a few weeks ago. But instead, he chose to back away from it all with a no comment and some meaningless platitudes about his near future, which damaged his reputation, which was previously one of the best in professional golf. According to reports, Smith has signed a $100 million contract with LIV Golf, the golf league financed by Saudi Arabia that had a difficult day in court a few weeks back. Smith would be the largest and most significant person to date to make the move to the vacant exhibition league, as it is long believed that he would. The number 2 player in the world was appropriately questioned about the LIV Golf article at his press conference in Memphis, where the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup playoffs were to begin. Smith just claimed he had no comment on it, which is a fairly pathetic way of evading the issue while still essentially confirming the report's veracity. He didn't affirm it, nor did he reject it. Cameron Smith insists he is only focused on the FedEx Cup playoffs and that any announcements about his future on the PGA Tour or joining the LIV Golf Series would only come from him. Look, Smith is quite entitled to join LIV. Although it would be terrible if he did, and terrible for professional golf, he has the power to decide. He would be simply another golfer heading off to the realm of a 54-hole tournament with no cuts and truly little purpose, as previous players have regrettably had no issue joining the sports-washing league. But to remain silent when pressed on the subject before the start of the PGA Tour playoffs is a rather cowardly move. If he did sign the contract, he should have announced his intention to join LIV and allowed the distractions and everything else that would follow it naturally take place. If you're going to spend that much money and leave a tour that has given you so much, you also need to be prepared for the reaction that will result. He simply said, "My objective here is to win the FedEx Cup playoffs. I'm just here for that." It's a bit tougher to support a player now who was the coolest golfer in the world just a few weeks ago. But anyway, good luck to him in the postseason. The admittance. In the Tour Championship's final round on Sunday at East Lake Golf Club, Billy Horschel couldn't help but wonder whether it would be the last time he would play alongside his dear buddy Cameron Smith on the PGA Tour. Smith and Horschel share a home in Ponte Vedra, Florida. In their spare time, they play golf together and go offshore fishing. Horschel said that if he were to move away, it would be the largest loss possible given his age and accomplishments. Take a look at the man he is. He's a nice child who expresses himself well and always acts appropriately. I'm prejudiced. Therefore, if he goes, it would be the largest loss. He's one of my closest pals. Smith, 29, has now revealed that he would switch to LIV Golf from the PGA Tour. Smith won the 150th Open Championship at St. Andrews in July and is now ranked number 2 in the official world golf rankings. Joaquin Niemann of Chile, who is rated number 19 in the world, Harold Varner III, Cameron Tringale, Mark Leishman of Australia, and Anirban Lahiri of India are also joining LIV Golf, which is supported by the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia. Cameron Smith explained the major reasons why he is quitting the PGA Tour in his first public remarks since his contentious switch to LIV Golf, and why it involves more than just a purported 9-figure salary. Speaking to reporters at the International outside of Boston, the location of the 4th LIV event, Smith explained why he chose to join the rival league and why he thinks it is the future of golf. He also noted that the league's condensed schedule will allow him to visit his native Australia more frequently. A day after Smith's long-rumored choice became public, he said during his first press conference with Mark Leishman, "I'm incredibly delighted to be here. I think this is the future of golf. I love how it is out here. It's a little more laid back on the range, the music playing. I love that stuff. I just can't wait to be a part of this." As the reigning winner of 2 of the 5 greatest stroke play competitions of the year, the Open and the Players, Smith is undoubtedly LIV's most significant recruit to date. Despite the fact that Smith will be banned by PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan when he starts play on Friday in the opening round of the 54-hole competition, Smith insisted that he has not resigned from the tour. The other defectors, Leishman, Joaquin Niemann, Harold Varner III, Cameron Tringale, and Anirban Lahiri, who make their LIV debut soon, will experience the same thing. Before he won his first major championship at St. Andrews, Smith said that he had been in contact with LIV over the previous several months. Rory McIlroy and a few other tour players contacted him to discuss their choices, and he also had a meeting with Monahan. Smith nonetheless made the decision to continue. Smith's election was influenced by his ability to spend a few months a year in Australia. Even though Smith relocated to the United States in 2015 to pursue his tour goals, his family has continued to live there. Due to the compressed league calendar, the season should end in autumn. LIV is anticipated to announce an event in Australia. This will give him more time to spend with his family. He said, "I can't wait to go back to that period of my life." Smith is exempt into the major tournaments for at least the next 5 years after his victory at the Open. In contrast to many of the players who have left for LIV, Smith had the chance to overtake the top player in the globe a few weeks ago. But as LIV tournaments aren't presently awarding points, his position could shortly fall. Smith expressed his hope that the world ranking points will be resolved before his exemption period expired. "It could be a little bit unfair to major championship golf fans, in my opinion. I believe that winning majors is all about fielding the greatest players possible on the finest golf courses. I hope we can resolve it," Smith said. Smith also expressed optimism that he will play for the International President's Cup team in a month's time, despite the fact that suspended players are currently ineligible to play at Quail Hollow. Smith, Nyman, Abraham Anser, Luis Oosthuizen, and Carlos Ortiz are among the defections that have decimated the international team. They are all likely to participate in the biennial competition. Statements made by LIV Golf. Greg Norman, CEO and Commissioner of LIV Golf, stated in a statement, "LIV Golf is demonstrating to the globe that our genuinely global league is drawing the finest players in the world and will expand the game into the future for the next generation. The best and the brightest are still supporting LIV Golf, and what we're creating? A real league for team golf that will appeal to new audiences across the world. We are eager to get started this week at the International and provide fans another unforgettable event experience." The Australian Smith is no doubt the greatest loss for the PGA Tour. He won the Players in March and his first major title at the 150th Open Championship, putting him in the peak of his career. Smith is a 6-time PGA Tour champion who is well liked by both supporters and rival players. Australian Adam Scott described him as a close friend. "I engage in a lot of warm-up games with Cam. That will be lost on me. I have one less formidable opponent to overcome, however." More than a dozen PGA Tour players have switched to the LIV Golf circuit, which is supported by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia and hosted by 2-time Open Championship champion Greg Norman. LIV Golf and 3 of its players have filed a federal antitrust complaint against the PGA Tour, claiming that it unlawfully suspended them for participating in LIV Golf tournaments and is using its monopolistic position to stifle competition. The PGA Tour is allegedly a monopoly, and the U.S. Department of Justice has already launched an inquiry into these claims. In response to the danger, the PGA Tour increased the prizes for 12 elevated tournaments, which will have an average purse of $20 million to go along with the Players' Championship's $25 million purse. The best players on the circuit have agreed to compete in 20 tournaments beginning this season. But according to several players, the Tour and LIV must collaborate to save the future of golf. What do you think? Can the PGA Tour coexist with LIV Golf?